Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our last user group of this year. I think exciting one. It is Christmas time almost, which is great. And yeah, this is definitely the last one. We won't have any more. Let's quickly. It's very nice to see, and I think it's the biggest number of people during the whole year. But it is, yeah. Thanks for coming. I will say even in the beginning. So what is our agenda today? Actually, today it would be not Andrzej, sorry. It would be Indra. But yeah, I did the agenda yesterday and everything changed since then. So, but then we will start from Qlik with some news. Then Bridgette will share their journey, how Qlik happens, turning data chaos in clarity. And there it will be a little bit of me with what you can do with Qlik more than you usually do. And you basically started this experience already, because those who participate in our Lego challenge, they could experience that the data can be delivered to you real quick, almost real time. So after that, we will continue with networking downstairs as usual. And it will finish as it finishes. So we can go, I think, up until 10 if you wish to. But anyway, let's start from Qlik. Let's start from Indra. Indra, over to you. I will just stop sharing, and if you start sharing, we can.
Let me share my screen.
Yes.
Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
All right. So good afternoon, good evening for everyone. So my name is Indra. So I'm solution architect. So I've been working at Qlik for 7 years now. So prior to Qlik with Talent. So Qlik acquired Talent on the data management space. So yeah, today I just want to give an update like what's new at Qlik. So it's more like the recent release of the Qlik Talent Cloud or Qlik Cloud. So I'll just move on. So again, standard disclaimer. So some of this slide basically contains a bit of like roadmap item for is either Q4 or even next year. So I'll start with the evolution of Qlik answers. So really sorry, I cannot see anyone in the room, but anyone familiar with Qlik answers before I proceed?
Yes.
So, all right, cool.
Yeah,
so again, so I think people in the room familiar with like Qlik solution, like Qlik Cloud, Qlik Sense, and then probably like QDI, Qlik Data Integration. So Qlik Answer is more like basically we acquired a company called Kindi. So basically in 2020. So let me just use this slide, right? So this is the journey or evolution of Qlik Answers. So I think 6 years ago, like 2019. So basically Qlik has Insight Advisor. Basically that's embedded into the Qlik Cloud Analytics. So basically it serves, for example, for users, which is probably not like as a Qlik Sense developer, but again, they can interact with Qlik Sense ecosystem, basically use natural language to ask, for example, I want to see the sales performance. So basically with structured data, basically we can provide that, like, for example, result or answers. And then 2 years ago, actually, we acquired a company called Kindi, and then basically that's to cover for the unstructured data. So now we are dealing, for example, with the PDF files or Word document where basically that files basically resides. Sorry, do I need to admit?
No, I admitted. Thank you.
Yeah. So Qlik Answers started with unstructured data. So that means dealing with, for example, data sources as in like, for example, PDF files, Word document. And then basically we tokenize the text and then put it into our rack. And then basically now we can provide like an assistant for the users to be able to interact with, for example, the assistant or you can call it like chatbot to get the answers from the unstructured data. So just to give an update on the roadmap, so basically next year, so basically that's the year for agentic AI experience. So basically Qlik Cloud especially, so basically we try to make it like all the modules within Qlik Cloud ecosystem basically support agentic AI experience. So that means from the Qlik Answers basically supports structured data, unstructured data, as well as from the Qlik Talent Cloud, which includes data integration. ETL, as well as data quality from the data governance perspective. So basically, we will provide those unified agentic experience for all different modules within Qlik Cloud ecosystem or tenant. Let me go to the next slide. Okay, so why Qlik decided to, let's say, play in this AI, right? So basically, the problem that we try to solve, basically, even with, for example, with the analytics. So we try to increase the adoption. With basically, we want to increase, like, not only, for example, people who familiar with Qlik Sense. For example, they can access from prompt, like a chatbot, so they can ask any question. And then the idea is basically Qlik Answers will be able to provide answers from the structured data, which is from the Qlik's analytics, as well as from the unstructured data that the organization stored, for example, in SharePoint or OneDrive or Box. And then basically with the agentic AI, so we try to, again, make it between data process, like processing data as well as analytics. Basically, it's less manual, so basically it's more like automated. So with the agentic AI, basically we try to make it more automatic from those different modules, like for example, preparing data or move data, even preparing data quality for example, providing a trust score. So basically in here, basically we try to provide a platform where basically it's ready for AI, and then any users can basically consume the data with more confidence with the trusted data from the Qlik platform. So the first part is basically the structured data. So again, this is part of the Qlik's analytics engine. So that's part already exists in the platform. And then from the unstructured data, so if anyone familiar with the user-based Qlik analytics, so maybe some customer already have access to Qlik Answers. But again, that's something that we will provide even for the structured data with the Qlik Answers. And then next year, basically, we will provide this agentic AI to cover all the structured data as well as unstructured data. So the idea is basically not only covering the unstructured data, which is, for example, PDF document. So basically, we users can ask more specific question to to the analytics engines, like for example, which region provide most energy, or for example, the most sales performance from a specific region. So basically, and then the Qlik Answers will provide like recommendation of a dashboard or chart. And then again, similarly, as a users, if they want to create an apps or they want to embed this chart into the app, so basically there will be a link with the Qlik Sense apps itself. So now a lot of vendors talk about AI. So again, Qlik is not the only one. Like for example, OpenAI even mentioned like ChatGPT will be the future of operating system, Anthropic, same thing, and as well as Amazon. So we are not trying to replace all those AI platforms. So any customer already on board with one of those AI vendors, again, we try to accommodate, like, for example, to complement their AI platform. So that means next year we will provide, like, for example, we provide the MCP protocol. So basically to be able to communicate with, for example, the external assistants, like, for example, OpenAI, Anthropic, or even AWS Bedrock, as well as another protocol that we will support, basically A2A, which is agent-to-agent protocol. So again, these two protocols again serve different purpose. So for example, MCP provide more like, for example, specific agent can do specific tasks, like for example, reading files, reading a database, reading a structured data, as well as the agent-to-agent basically is more like, for example, two different agents can communicate to each other. Like for example, when we move data and then suddenly, for example, the agent can call data quality agent to do, for example, some profiling. So that's the idea. And even we can probably communicate with the external agent outside or beyond the Qlik environment. So this is the agentic architecture that Qlik is trying to introduce. So again, with the Qlik Answers, that means the assisting Qlik users or Qlik Cloud users. So basically, they can use the in-product assistants, as well as they can create assistants. So at the moment, any Qlik Answers users, they can create their own assistant with their own knowledge base. And then we will provide agentic architecture for different modules within Qlik Cloud tenant. That includes Qlik Talent Cloud as well. So creating pipelines, data quality, data product. So later on, I will cover data product after this Qlik Answers. Analytics agent, which is more on the Qlik Analytics engine, and then knowledge agent for the Gen AI, which is from the unstructured data, discovery agent, and etc. etc. So we will keep adding different agents into the Qlik tenant environment in here. But now if the customer already use third-party assistants, so for example, they might use OpenAI, Anthropic, or Gemini AI. So again, we will provide this MCP server. So that means the external assistant can communicate with our Qlik agentic AI framework through this MCP server. So now what makes Qlik different or unique in the market, right? Because every every data integration vendors also provides the same. So basically, I think Qlik is one of the only vendors which provide not only analytics as well as data integration. And even like, for example, last year we announced about data product, and then we keep adding functionality. For example, in data product, we can provide like trust score, the trust score in the data product level or even in the data set level. So it's more like detail level. We provide like lineage that give more confidence to the users before they can use, they want to consume data product, they can verify or validate whether that data set's actually correct. And then actually that provide like establish the data foundation for AI ready data. And then complex AI reasoning. So again, this is the feature with the agentic AI. So we try to provide the environment ecosystem where basically different agents can communicate with each other. So now the question is how to start or customer onboard with this. So again, customer doesn't need to wait until Qlik, for example, provide the complete agentic AI. So anytime a customer can onboard with Qlik answers, and then when we release a new features like agentic AI, again, it's automatically added into any Qlik answers customer. So again, we will not change or we will not mention, like, for example, that's Qlik Answers 2.0. So again, the same Qlik Answers, we just keep adding functionality in the next year. Yeah. So now I switch here to the Qlik Talent Cloud. So Qlik Answers is basically the new way to provide or surface how to interact with different users. Not only, for example, data analysts who, for example, are familiar with Qlik Sense, but also maybe like business users. So they are not familiar with, for example, data log script, et cetera, or data modeling. So basically, the idea is basically with Qlik Answers, basically we can serve any users. But how to provide a confidence to those users? So basically, Qlik Talent Cloud provides a new features called Data Product Catalog. So it's more like data marketplace. So again, basically, this will bridge a gap between data team and analytics teams or business users. So basically, data team can move data, curate the data, and then basically they can provide like a single interface where basically they can publish a data product. Like, for example, if they create like bronze layer, silver layer, gold layer, then definitely, for example, they will publish the gold layer for the business user to consume. But for example, for data scientists, data science, probably they require, for example, the raw data, which is bronze. So again, they can, I mean, as a data team, they can create a data product for different data layer to the business users or the data consumer users. So the idea is basically in the data product. So basically we provide out of the box, we call it Qlik Trust Score. So again, this is one of the Qlik pattern where basically we provide this trust score. So it could be 1 to 5 range, or even we can switch to like percentage, like for example, 0 to 100%. And then we will provide more details, data quality dimension, like validity, completeness, accuracy, diversity, or the data set level. And then we also provide the trust score on the data product level. So data product, as in, for example, we can create data product relates to, for example, marketing or sales or risk domain. And then in its data product, it might consist of, for example, 10 data sets. So basically, we aggregate the trust score into the data product level. And then if the users want to drill down into more details, for example, into the data quality dimension, then the users can do so. So this is what we provide in the data product. So there is a demo in here. So the idea is basically is like data marketplace. So we call it data marketplace, where basically we can provide, just call it publish data product to the data consumer users. So for example, data product manager can call it like bronze layer, silver layer, gold layer. So for example, in this sample, on the bronze layer, I might have, for example, 25 different data sets. Data sets could be in QVD format, could be in, for example, Snowflakes, Databricks, or any type of database that we support. And then the users can drill down into the dataset level. It could be, for example, in this case, in Snowflakes, and then the users can check or validate, for example, the different data quality dimension. And even they can configure, for example, a timeliness, so they can change, because timeliness, as in, for example, how frequent this data set being refreshed in the, for example, in data warehouse or in the Qlik data product, data marketplace. So basically, we can put a threshold. And then again, similarly, we can put like documentation as well. So that means we can put more user-friendly definition rather than just a data set or table name. Okay, so this is sample. And then again in here, so in the demo, I think we covered. So let me just move forward. So this is more on how, as a data product manager, we can publish or activate specific data products so that that data product will be visible to the data consumer users. So again, we put more governance process into it. And then we can put, for example, the contact, as in, for example, who is the subject matter expert? Who is the product owner, or for example, who is the data product owner or data product SME. And then we can even expose an API. So that means as the consumer users, they can consume from QlikSense apps, as well as, for example, if beyond Qlik ecosystem. So basically we can expose an API, like our data API, and then basically any users can consume from Microsoft Excel or even Microsoft Power BI or any other type of BI tools, as long as they support our data. So basically, we try to serve more data consumer users so that they can leverage this data product, which is with more confidence, with more confidence on the data trust score. And then again, similarly, every users can provide different metrics. Like, for example, they can configure the timeliness. For example, I want to make sure the timeliness is between, for example, 1 hour or 2 hours. And then basically that will change the trust score. And then again, as the users, they can see the data preview as well as the lineage. So later on, I will just move forward this one. And then not only preview, basically we can provide data quality rules. So that means it's not like out of like a black box from the platforms. Again, as a admin users, they can provide or they can create a data quality rules, and then we can apply it to the specific columns or specific attribute in your data sets. Yeah. Okay, and then let me just scroll a bit. Okay. So now once we run the data quality rules, and then if, for example, there is a invalid data, again, that will change the trust score. So the idea is basically this like an interactive process where basically as a probably data owner, they can decide how they want to set up this data quality dimension. And every data consumer users, they can basically consume this data. Like, for example, okay, with 79% is makes sense. And then basically they want to consume it through a QlikSense application or through API. So now what's apart from this, so basically we also provide, we call it like history. So that means every change is basically we will track, just call it like audit trail. So basically we can track this trust score across, for example, different period. And then basically we can track, like, for example, what changed in the last 90 days, 60 days in terms of trust score, and then even in more details in the data quality dimension, like validity, completeness, discoverability. So we provide a history graphical view, and then on the generative rules. So basically we try to embed Gen AI capabilities. So on the rules, basically in the future, so like for example, next year, we will keep adding these Gen AI capabilities. So the users doesn't need to define their own rules. So we will give, or we will provide like such a recommendation. Like, for example, based on data sets, actually we need to apply, for example, email validation. Like, for example, link with Databricks. So at the moment we support, for example, Snowflakes, and then later on we'll support Databricks for the data product so that it can be visible to the Databricks user interface. And then Qlik Sense, again, we'll retain pipeline modeling. So basically, we can use this data model. Like, for example, if we have 25 data sets, when we import to Qlik Sense, basically the model will be automatically created in the Qlik Sense apps with those 25 data sets in Qlik Sense apps. And then again, as usual, so associative engine will try to link the relationship between those tables. And then, as I mentioned, so basically we can expose data product or data sets via API, which is we support OData API. So literally any application, even Salesforce, can consume this OData API, which is more curated data sets to Salesforce. And then consumption, again, we can control individual API for different data sets, which is we have different endpoint. And then on the documentation, like description, so again, we can provide like a recommendation on the description. So again, as a data owner, they can accept the recommendation or they can override that description. And then in here again, this is something that I mentioned before. So when we import or when we consume through Qlik Sense Analytics, so basically we'll return the data model into Qlik Sense application, so that basically Qlik Sense users, you don't need to manually add different data sets from the catalog. So basically you can consume automatically from data products. And then we will add capabilities on data stewardship. So this is more talent capabilities, but we bring these capabilities into Qlik Talent Cloud. So again, this is more for the data remediation. So for example, if we bring in data and then we realize, like, for example, the data, like, for example, missing failures on the address. So how we can remediate this data quality issue. So it's either we ask the frontliner users like customer service to fill in, or basically we can surface into our data stewardship application to do remediation, as in, for example, they can update directly to data stewardship, and then later on we can decide, for example, if we want to propagate to, for example, to the source, or we just keep it that changes into the data analytics layer. So Q4, so we will release this one. So at the moment it's in the private preview. So maybe anyone in the room, so if you have a preview tenant, so probably you have tried these features. And then the H1, 2 minutes, okay. H1 next year, so we will provide all these different additional capabilities on the data stewardship. So this is my last slide, and then this will be my last demo. So again, on the metadata management, so we provide lineage not only for Qlik Sense, for example, if you create data prep, so you can see the lineage from the ETL, Qlik ETL, which is Qlik Talent Cloud, as well as from the DI, like iceberg ingestion, or even the standard CDC. So basically, you can see all this lineage in one interface from Qlik Talent Cloud. Okay.
I'm sorry, Indra, we are running out of time. So
sure.
Do you have much information left? Because we a little bit on schedule.
That's my last slide.
Oh, that was it? You say?
Okay.
Always like that. Good, thank you. Thank you, Indra. Do you have any questions?
Thanks, everyone. Yeah.
Any questions? Okay, no questions from our side. Thank you very much for your presentation, Indra. It was quite informative, and many new things are coming in and already available. So let's go to the next presenter, Bridgette. Let me fire up the presentation. And yeah, thank you, Indra, very much. Yep, good. Share. I'm sharing my screen. Is it this one? No, sorry, not this one. Trying to find my mouse. It's always challenging. Not that one. Oh, one moment. And just a moment. I'll move screens because it's a little bit hard. Let's do this.
He's having to do it. I only finished it about 5 minutes before. Lots of time to email it, so here we go. And I just put a timer on because I am renowned for talking. So there we go. 2 minutes. Hey.
Thank you, Bridgette. Over to you.
All right. Okay. Thank you. So my name is Bridgette. I'm the Business Improvement Superintendent for Goldfields. I've been asked to come and talk today, but to be honest, I've never been to one before, so I didn't know what to expect. And there's a few more people that I anticipated, so we'll go. I'm here to take you through our journey, which has been a 3-year journey. I'm not going to preach to the converted. You all are great advocates for Qlik, you use it, and you've probably been through the same struggles we have. So I thought I would take you through a little bit more about what we've done. Right, press this one. All right, okay, so it all started with this man here. So this one is Graham. He was a character. He was our vice president of operations at the time, and he was looking after 4 Australian assets. And when I moved to his department, he came up to me on the first day. He says, sort that out. And he used to get 12 emails a day from the sites with the reports. They were all in different formats. They all said completely different results. He's like, I've got no idea what I should be looking at if I trust the data, so go away and sort it. And then I had a chat with the site teams, and I went back to him. I said, it's not actually as easy as what you think, because they're all using different systems, different reporting platforms, this, that, and the other. So we were having a good chat one day, and then one of the other vice presidents of geology overheard. He says, oh, we've got the same problem. And then before I knew it, I was put in front of the senior leadership team. That was on here, like a wee one then. I've got 6 senior vice presidents at me. I was like, oh. And then, yeah, it turned into a Goldfields project. So we ended up having to sort it out for the whole company, not just operations, and we went from there. So I would like to say it was a strategic move by Goldfields, but it wasn't at all. It's because he was over things. All right, so yeah, we have 4 mines here in Australia. They all did things completely differently, as did our corporate office. We've got lots of multiple reports out there, a lot being generated by the source systems, a lot then being manipulated in Excel spreadsheets and sent around. But I'm not going to lie, Power BI was the bane of our life, because people got hold of data sets and then thought they could run it through Power BI. You had no idea how they'd modelled it, what they'd changed, hence why some availability stats were telling us 80, some were telling us 93, some were telling us 50. It was just like an absolute nightmare. So again, show conflicting results. We actually didn't have anybody who took ownership of data. So each site just had a system, and everyone just sort of got involved and did their own little thing. So that was a big one. Every function had its own data sources. And that's been, I suppose, one of the biggest wins, and I'll take you through that, is now that we have this beautiful big combined data set that everyone draws from. And this is there. No clear structure or governance or consistency. So we had 4 assets that were all calculating the metrics completely differently. When we talk about development, for example, some were including vertical development, some weren't. So it was just, yeah, very, very messy. So this was the thing. He says he's got no single version of the truth, and that's what we had to solve for them. So here we go. And I suppose you've all related to that. You ask someone a question and you get multiple different answers. That was what we were placed with. Okay, have I done the right thing? This is just our journey, really. So once we were given the project, did I miss one out?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I skipped there. Yeah. So what I was tasked with was creating a single view that could be trusted. Okay. Yeah. Well, it sounded simple at the time, like naively, and I say naively, I am not a technical person. I cannot even map a printer, right? So I am, that last presentation that popped up was like way over my head. We were giggling on the back row because I've got no idea what they were talking about, which is still funny. But yeah, so they wanted a platform that we could go for all of our data analytics. And they wanted it to be able to be used at multiple levels throughout the organization. So that was one. So I often get this question thrown at me, how did we land on Qlik? And I'm not going to lie, I've only ever worked in Power BI. I didn't even know Qlik existed, to be honest. But we had Qlik already within our company. Sergey was there doing some of the financial reporting. And so we got, what would you call them? Like asset leads, I suppose. They used to be called data and insight leads, and then they swapped all the role titles. But what we did is we got somebody from each function, so geology, finance, supply chain, in on the project, and we said, right, let's analyze these 2 systems, because we were given no guidance from IT at all as to which way to go. And I let them pick, and they actually came up with Qlik. And the main reason for that is it integrates, I suppose, seamlessly with SAP, and that's our main ERP system. Okay, I had no idea about all the other stuff it could do at the time, but that was the main one. Okay, and then we just went through. So I suppose everybody's been through this as part of their journey. Reporting requirements, who, what, and when do you need them? It was an absolute nightmare when you look at the amount of reports that fly around our business. It's crazy. One site we've just done, Granny Smith's, where they're changing sort of mind control platforms. They have 52 reports that are generated weekly just for that site. And when you look at who's doing them and the duplication of effort, because they're all reporting on the same things and it's all manual, yeah, it was a nightmare. So trying to map that out was the main one. Data discovery, we actually had far more systems than what we realised, believe it or not. And when you start and look at what we do have, all these things that have slipped through IT because they've been purchased on site individually and things like that. So that was quite an interesting experience. This was a biggie for us, and I don't know if you experienced the same thing, but because we have the 4 assets and they've been bought over time, they were all doing things their own way. So it's okay saying, like, you want this report, and you use this data set, but then we had to actually align what they were doing. So there was a lot of stakeholder engagement, and you know what it's like, my way is the best way. So trying to get 4 egos to come along was pretty tricky, but we got there on that one. And then again, like I said before, the metrics were all calculated differently. But one thing that did crop up was, say, for example, 3 of the assets used Connected Mine. It's a platform. It was all configured differently. So even though it's the same product, because it had been purchased over time, so even the master data that sat within there was a challenge. Yeah, I would say a big challenge. Here we go. What have we got there? Okay, so I'm going to take you through some key stats and I'll show you some of the reports we've done. But these are the biggest benefits that we've seen. I would say the first year was probably all around the planning. The second year was doing some of the basic operational reports and that type of thing. And then this year, I'm not going to lie, has just been utter madness. As people have seen the capabilities and what we've been able to do for other departments, they're like, oh, can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? Okay. So yeah, so governance, we've now got, oh my gosh, I do have this on Do Not Disturb, sorry. But it's my daughter, so she can get past. Oh, look at that. Can I have some money for dinner? Oh, it's terrible. I'm sorry. Teenagers, eh? So we do have a lot of governance within the business now. So we've got a lot of policies and procedures around how we not only, I suppose, but like purchase products. To then how they're going to be managed, how they're going to be set up, how we control the data, how we even down to how we visualize it and who can have access. Collaboration, this is the biggest thing that I think we've won, is, I don't know about you, but a lot of our teams used to do things in isolation. So they would report on other people's metrics, but not actually engage with them, or they wouldn't be pulling from the same data source. So what we have now is this wonderful big data set. So they're all talking the same language, but they're also all using the same language. So what we can do is, I'll show you one of the mothballs later, but we integrate the safety data, for example, along with the production data, along with the processing data. And it's just so easy just to drag and drop and build these reports. It's fantastic. So they come to us and say, right, okay, a board I'll take you through later. We call them BCIs, business critical initiatives, but they wanted to pull in some of the people data because they were dropping on utilisation of the assets, and they wanted to know if it was something to do with availability of people and things like that. So we're able to merge in their roster data and flight data and things like that. Insights, well, I must say we've become more of a data-driven company now, and it's certainly, whereas before it was a bit of a finger suck, it might be that, we're not too sure. So now it's really starting to give us those highlights. It was quite funny actually talking about AI, because this is a big buzzword around our company. They want to go down that way next year, so help us get those insights a little bit quicker. Engagement, that's a biggie. People actually like using the data now because it's accessible. they've got all these beautiful reports in the one place that they can go to. So that's been a really big win. And we've got some phenomenal figures. I don't know how it compares to yours, but it'll be interesting to see of users within the system. But this is the biggest one. We've actually made a cultural shift, and I'd say it probably happened within the last 6 to 8 months. There has been a real shift in people. Now they can see what it is that we do. It's like they're going to the Qlik reports. What does that say? Because it is the source of truth. If someone presents a Power BI report or a spreadsheet, it's instantly dismissed by management because they know our system's locked down, it's controlled, it's governed, and everything's being calculated the same thing. We get so many requests now. Can you do this in Qlik Fruits? How can we, yeah. And then this is the biggest one. They're starting to realise that you don't actually have to do manual tasks anymore. Like you can automate so much, especially when it comes to that reporting and visualisation piece. So some real big benefits on this one. Right. Again, okay. So 32 source systems active. This is a biggie for us. Just over 1,000 active users in the system. I don't know if that's how that compares to you. Yeah. It's been accessed thanks to Michael, who built me the dashboard so I can monitor, over nearly 35,000 times in the last 90 days. Got all those data sets. These are all the functions that we've engaged with. This is a biggie. We just managed to get the Exco board in South Africa looking at Qlik reports and actually transacted in Qlik. I'll show you. So that's a huge one. You know what they say, hook the top dog and then you're fine. And then these are our top apps. So as you'd expect, so HNS, that's all our safety stats. Then we've got a lot around work management, purchasing, people. So you can see a vast array of, I suppose, functions really, you'd say. So there's some stats. Okay. I was just throwing this off at the top of my head, and this is all I could think of, but there's a damn sight more. But yeah, these are the big things that we've done. So you can see we've worked with practically every function across the business, and we've built these reports. And like I say, most of these have been built within the last year. So it's been a phenomenal year. People's quite tricky. We use success factors, but we're not allowed to tap into it. So that's been a struggle in its own right. But yeah, even down to the alcohol results on site, they don't get a report at the end of the day. Currently, we're able to tap into that and within 10 minutes, give them a list of people who haven't blown in the morning, and then they know to go and chase them up. So it's things like that, that are having a real impact on how we operate, especially from a safety perspective. You can see here lots to do with the operations and maintenance. They seem to be our biggest customer at the moment. We've got a few here for corporate. Recruiting, open vacancy management. They're currently doing that off spreadsheet, so we've managed to visualize all that for them. So yeah, just a change, I suppose, a little summary of what we've done. What we are. 2 minutes. So I'm going to show you some pictures. Here we go. Right, okay. This is the juicy stuff. This is what we've done. Or should I say what the team have done? I just tell them by mad vision, and then they might seem some miraculous to make it happen. So these are our global MOS boards. So every asset across the globe is using the same management operating system, and this is what they all talk to in the morning. So we have an SLT one, and then we have a processing one and a mining one. So this is just a snippet of that. And you can see how we've got a little bit of the safety stuff. It is shrunk because it's obviously meant to be on a big touch screen. So yeah, a little bit of a mixture on that one. These are our daily reports that go to our VPs and GMs, so how they're going against their forecast budget plan, along with any safety incidents for that particular week that we're in. One good thing is here, you can see how we've got Agni, Rios and Eyes, Granny Smith all within the one data set. They were always only in isolation, so now the VP can have this collective overview, which is fantastic. That's an example of one of our ops boards that we've done. So it monitors some of the stats, and again we've got links to all those different reports on the right hand side. Goes down to even looking at operator performance as well. So really detailed ones there, mainly for the crews to use, the shift boss and things like that. My manager, they use those. We've got time usage stats in there, which is quite funny because first of all we had to align them all to the same model. Yeah, that was a challenge in its own right. That took just over a year. So we've got some time usage boards.
We've got the safety stats there. I would say that this is the biggest board we've got. There's probably, oh, I'd say a good 20 sheets in there. And Michelle keeps adding to them, yeah, as she does. So that's a really big board. But again, you saw it was our top used app. So that's an example of that one. Now this has been really, really useful, this and the other one. We had a problem with our stope turnovers and we couldn't understand why. So we built a board here using some of the Deswick data and Deswick ops data to tell us where our delays were. And you can actually go down and see the data and the delays within there for certain critical stopes. So that was really, really interesting. And they've actually reduced the stope turnover time by 2 weeks, I think. So they're really starting to see the benefits of presenting the data in a way that it's meaningful. Oh, look at me. I'm nearly up. All right. Okay, how are we going? This is one which was interesting, actually, because this is probably the one I'm most proud of. It doesn't look anything on there, but this uses that technology that you had at the front. So it uses Infinity. And so what we have here is it's actually the Chief Technical Officer and all his vice presidents and the senior vice presidents for each region. So again, hook to the top dogs who go in and they transact in a different table. They input the figures and the commentary, and then it automatically populates through to this board. And this is presented to Exco. So that was a great win to get those on board. This was a lovely one. So we had the tailings team come to us. They needed to present a report out. How am I doing for time? Okay. Are you sure? Out to the board and to the broader business on tailing audit management. So this here, it was just all the charts, but then they were combined into a report output that was on our website. So that was a nice little win for us. What else have we done? Oh, these sideboards. This is a lovely example of how we share data sets across. So this is what we call business critical initiative. We go around and have a big hoo-ha every year at site on what the main constraints are, and then we choose to look at them. So this is bringing in our project system, KPI Fire. It's bringing in our operations one. We've got the financial benefits in there. We've got a little bit of time usage. So we've merged all these data sets, and we've got this lovely board here that the site teams then talk to every week to see how that constraint's going. That's good. EHS scorecards. Now this one and the next one, I tried to get you an output, but I couldn't because I'm not that technical, as you know. But these get emailed. So some go daily, some go weekly around the business. There's probably about 300 people on the distribution list. And it's produced, it comes out in a lovely PDF report, but not the PDF version. How do you explain it? It's not the one where you can subscribe as a PDF. It's yeah. But unfortunately, I couldn't do that, but I'll share that with you after if you like. And again, I tried to pop it in and that was it. All right, so what's next? Automation. We've still got lots of people doing lots of things in spreadsheets, which is what we're going to try and work through. Predictive insights and AI is a big topic, like I say, a buzzword. So we're hoping to maybe capitalize on what that guy's just shown us before and see what that can do. Simplify and streamline our governance frameworks. We've still got a lot of work to do around that, especially as more and more of our global assets want to come on board. I can imagine that's going to be a little bit challenging next year. Engagement and training. So although we've got over 1,000 users in there, they don't really know how to use the system properly and get the best out of it. So that's what I'm trying to do next year, is get them a little bit of upskilling. And yeah, I want to go global next year. That's my thing. Yeah. And I'll leave it there, I think, unless anyone's got any questions or. Yeah. It's been, like I say, I had no idea what to pitch or how to do it. So hopefully you found it interesting. But yeah, yes, it's been
it was very
cool.
A lot of the menu we see from the customers. So
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks for showing what you've got. Bridgette.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. And apologies. I've got some visitors here, so if I don't have time to mingle, I'll definitely pop along to the next one.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Right. we don't have too much time left, but I can see there are more people came in. So I will probably leave our Lego challenge to the very end when people can actually enter their guesses. You see, this is the judge. Yes. Those who haven't guessed yet, think how much pieces do you think is in here? And then you can get one of these nice t-shirts, yes, with Qlik on it. So, good. Let me quickly switch to my presentation. What I'm going to talk about. So firstly, this is our Lego Challenge dashboard. And those people who already guessed, when they enter the data on this iPad, roughly 3 seconds or less, their guess appears on the screen. So generally, Qlik does not deliver things that fast. So that's why it is quite interesting to see. And some people are familiar with this technology. It's all based on Infinity and Qlik, obviously. But what I'm going to show you today is what else you can do with Qlik. Yeah. So let me switch my presentation. I don't have many slides. I have just, I think, 5 of them or 7. We'll see. So, new ways to make Qlik useful. That's me. History. So it's all started from old good friend QlikView. Traditionally, it's been just data visualization tool. Then in recent years, we got that Unity, Talent, and finally, it's got transformed into the big data platform. So, however, and if you think about the main focus of all of it was bring data, integrate the data, transform the data, analyze the data, present the data. So it never been really enter the data. Yes. So it was always how to make things beautiful and nice and bring it to the people. So, but how about the data entry? Yeah? So there are a couple of options. All my examples today will be on Infinity. However, there are other things. There are with lib. There is comment. The comment actually does comment. So it is a very obvious one. And actually Qlik coming up very soon with their own standalone embedded write back capability, but it will be a very simplistic one. So use cases that we worked with, but there are much more of them. So comments for finance or variance reports. So basically, instead of finance team getting the report, then exporting it into Excel, sending it out to the manager who would input the comment, then it would be sent back, assembled by finance team, then data changed, and you need to repeat the process. And it is quite painful. So all things can be done in one place. Report is prepared. People have access to the final numbers, and they can enter their comments. Finance team doesn't need to do anything else. It still need to do lots of things, but not assembling the reports. Yes. Other one, manage section access. This is basically manage access to the applications. Those who are familiar with that, generally it's some Excel spreadsheets or something along those lines, while this can be done in there. Some companies use it to actually for the budgeting or planning process to do their forecasting and the budgeting. And some of them actually presented here in this auditor today. So then, yeah, we can do a Lego challenge. So, and the last thing is project tracker. You can actually get much more examples if you go to this website, demo.myinfinity.com, and there are many things you can just look what is available. So how about demo? Quick one. Yep. I'll probably stick to just a couple because I actually have a variety of them, but I don't have too much time. No, Bridgette, you are fine. You are absolutely fine. It was very interesting. So as usual, I've got planning demo, but I'll probably start with finance demo. So this, I don't know how often people make comments on balance sheet, and as you can see, oh, oops, I'm not showing it to you. Sorry for that. That's me. So let's imagine there is a balance sheet, or there is P&L, or whatever finance report you want to do. And what you usually do, you need to, it can highlight for you where comments is required. I did input some comments before. As you can see, I was playing just with some dummy comments, but you can see how quick it can be. So if you, someone who needs to make a comment, you just go here, come on. Enter the comment. Yesterday I was trying 2025 just to make sure that it is working. Today I'm going to change it to 26 test. So click this one button, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if we go here to balance sheet, to our report, come on. It's, yeah, Qlik is playing with me today. But actually my comment is already there. So my comment is already in the report. And if I need to, like I go a little bit further and I want to share it with someone, I can go to the reports and actually download it. Come on. And I just need to find my mouse. Where is my mouse? I think it's somewhere here. If I open it up and show you, it will be very different to what we have. Here we go. You see my report with even my comment. Nice. I mean, it looks very different than what we have got on the screen. And we can have multiple pages and so on, but I won't stop on it because it's not really the topic of my presentation. So as I said, the simplest way is just to enter the comments. I heard that Qlik standard functionality, so if you don't have Infinity, Qlik standard functionality will include soon these comments. It should be pretty simple. It's pretty simple to implement. However, it will store the data only for 90 days. So not that great. So because this one stores data forever. And by the way, you remember I overridden my comment. So, and I can go here, click change log and see I did one comment then twice, don't know why I did it twice. And today I already got a comment as well. So basically I can see who did change what and when, which is great, against which values too. Let me close this. Other thing I wanted to show you, I need to take a look here because it is a little bit different. I want to show you project tracker demo. So while people quite often, like, I mean, comments is kind of natural. You've got the data and you just put small text in, you display it and it looks fine. However, how about we just generate data, like completely create an application in Qlik? Why not? So basically what's happening, this one is a project tracker where you can actually create new records, put new project code. I'll say test 003. Doesn't matter how it's called. I can give it a name, 1, 2, 3. OK. And save it. Yes, I want to reload the app. This one, I think, reloads roughly 8 seconds or 10, something like that. However, generally, with this one is trying to obfuscate the data and like basically do lots of things, while in the real life, it even happens within 3 to 5 seconds. So you just enter it, even if you enter it multiple projects, it will be the same. And then you can adjust, add some additional information. I hope it works for me. Add when status is changed or something like that, say close. You can get people who is responsible for that and just click save. Sometimes you need to say refresh all. When you finish with your data entry, you click refresh all and it just does the job for you. So after that, like, why do you think, why it is useful? It is useful because quite often, especially in mining, project starts not from entering into ERP system. They start from just from the idea, enter it into Excel. But if you can but if you enter it only in Excel, it lives by itself. While here you can actually see which of them are still not in system, and you see this P means it is in Pronto, it is in ERP. While here down below one, it is not an ERP. So basically, you need to think, you need to do something about it. And after that, you can actually get all this data in a graphical format, combining data that you gather it from Qlik with the data that you gather it that you have in Pronto with your budget data and so on. It's just an example, nothing really else. Any questions? No. Okay. In this case, let's just, I wanted to show you also planning application, but it's in too much, too many demos. Let's try to do our Lego challenge. I'll close this. So those people who hasn't submitted their guess, do you mind just coming here and try to make it happen? You will be surprised. David, please. And then, because I know the answer, yes, and I will enter it, and we will get it. So the first field is your guess, and then your name. Not yet. Not yet. Correct answer is here. Yeah, you can wait. 137. No, we don't have that guess. You can try to enter. Well, you see, someone entered 120.
You don't want to. So the winner is the one who gets closest, or do you have to guess?
We actually will have 5 winners, the closest ones.
Close range.
Yes.
No, thank you. Some support. Mike, can I see? Okay, so we've got.
So you see how quick it is. 155. Best wishes, Helen. Just also. You can see how quick it is. Yeah, you enter data on some random website, and it appears here. Yeah, I was picking them. I was picking them because pick pieces everyone can guess. Right? Shit. 1, 2, 3. 2, 4, 3. That one.
Yeah, oh, very close.
Everyone is very close. The winners will be defined at the very, very moment, the very last moment. 237. Yes. You see? All right. So Amir, 293. That's a good one. I'm surprised that everyone just goes that way, like very, very, very. Okay, what is this? Yeah. Magda 284. Okay. Okay. It was quick. What? 260. Yeah. You count.
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
Good. You picked the right one to come. I'm good.
You mean it's not like this all the time?
No, it is only for Christmas. All right. Yeah, I think so. So Ryan, 279. Okay. Carl? 245. Best wishes, Carl. You see, it's even talking to you, yeah? So I would say the closest guest will be able to pick the size. That's the. So Vasily 190. Okay. Everyone made their guess, yes? Okay. So now it's the time for a correct answer, yeah? So where is my mouse? I will enter it here. 180. Here we go, this highlight. So, and now we can click here. You don't see this button, but I know it exists there. Oops. I know why, sorry. I need to click this button first because it was my testing. Here we go. Vasily is the first one. Natalius, Anna, and Bridgette. Please come and take your t-shirt. So,
And size?
it's L, it is S, yeah. It is, I don't know, it's M, yep. Cool. Thanks. So this one is L. Okay. So L, S. Yes.
I get an L as well.
That's L. Yep. And it's for you. Thank you. So thank you very much for participation. Also, I don't know if you noticed, those who came in late, there are some bags with Qlik logo on it over there. Please take one because I really don't want to carry them back. Yeah, you don't want to task me with this. Yes, save me, please. Save me, please. Right. What else we've got today? I'll just switch to my presentation. I'll just need to find it. For some reason, it's closed. Oh, it's actually here. So, just want to say thank you to our committee members, including myself, obviously. So thank you very much for organizing and helping with all of that. And thank you everyone for coming to these events. It is very important for our Qlik community to have people who can not just use Qlik, but also share what they do and communicate with each other because it will make us just better. So thank you very much for coming. And if you have anything to say, contact me at any time. It can be technical talk, it can be just user experience. Thanks, Bridgette, for that today. And or just why you use Qlik. And that's it for today. Thank you very much.